Time now for Mark Rosen's Sports Update, brought to you by Automax, your low-price, high-quality alternative for brake and exhaust repair. What's the buzz?
Well, we're very pleased to have our special guest with us this morning, live from Mankato, or is it Persincato? Greg Coleman of the Minnesota Vikings. Greg, you guys had an early wake-up call. You have to start practice at 9 o'clock instead of 10. What are they doing to you down there?
Oh, well, you always have to be ready for adjustments and changes in this business of ours. And today was just one of those days where they took an extra hour of sleep away from you, but typical day.
Is it true you're going to take up permanent residence in Mankato, that you just love it down there in the dorm rooms?
Yeah, right. I can't wait to move my family and tell my little girl and my wife that we're going to move to the black hole of Minnesota.
No, come on now. You guys got down in Mankato last week. Now, were the residents a little upset about that, or what happened with Dennis
I think
Willey?
they took it all. It was done in just fun. Dennis Willey made a couple of comments about Mankato being the black hole, and the people down here took it pretty personal, took it pretty serious. So all of the elected officials got off from work for our afternoon practice, came out with signs saying that anyone that had gall enough to criticize Mankato, to be so blatant about it, had nerve enough to run for mayor. So they were calling Dennis Willey Mr. Mayor.
A lot of folks wondering about where this team's going to go this year, Greg. What are your thoughts about what you've observed and your feelings about the team so far?
I think we can only go up because for two or three different reasons. We have a good mixture of young talent. For so many years, the so-called experts kept saying the Vikings didn't have the talent. They didn't have the people. Now we've got the talent. We've got a good mixture of younger players, older players, and talented players. And we've just got a very good mixture. We've got a good chemistry on this team that Jerry Burns is bringing together. And I think, I'm looking for very, very, very good things from this Viking football team this season.
All right. Greg Coleman, the Minnesota Vikings.
Mark?
Yes, Tom?
Great job, buddy.
Wonderful job.
Thank you very much.
You forgot to ask him who the biggest thug in the NFL is.
Well, why didn't you chip in and say something? You're so quiet.
Well, I thought I'd like to talk to your pals.
Oh, man.
No problem. So, we do have to use the thugometer just once.
Okay.
So should we run former Cleveland Brown running back Jim Brown through the thugometer?
Oh, boy. I don't know. It's a little dangerous. You got a helmet on?
Yeah, really. Okay, Jim, 4 or 5 girlfriends ago, it all started, huh, pal? Jim Brown through the thugometer, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, right off the
meter.
Off the end.
Off the meter, sorry. Jim, nice guy, huh? Now you know why they call it a pigskin, okay, pal? 6 minutes till 9 o'clock. John Lassman is next at 92 KQRS.
92 KQRS, the home of summertime rock and roll.
92 KQRS, now with even fewer commercial interruptions. And for that Wally World Fan Club party in Shakopee, here's your CD from Bob Dylan on KQ. 92 KQRS, out of New York City, The Village to be exact. That's new on KQ from the Smithereens. Great tune, Blood and Roses. Also Billy Squire, also out of New York, from the album Signs of Life. And a KQ classic from Bob Dylan from the CD collection for the big Wally World Fan Club party in Shakopee. Thank you for the phone call. Wally loves you all. And to show it, it's Wally World Night tomorrow at Valley Fair. Wally's there with free KQ homegrown albums. And you can see 2 of the bands off the KQ album, Excalibur and Blue Canoe, in concert in the amphitheater at Valley Fair. We'll see you there tomorrow night. And all weekend long, KQ's giving away the summer's hottest albums. One of the best by far, 5150 from Van Halen, goes to caller 12 at 545-ROCK or 545-ROLL. Do dial carefully as always. Best of luck to you. And stick around after 9 o'clock, another 55 minutes of music. KQ classics from Foghat. Also a KQ exclusive, some new Huey Lewis. And coming up, tomorrow night's guest on KQ's Twin City Beat out of Kansas City, Missouri, the Rainmakers.
Nobody plays more classic rock and roll than 92 KQRS.
92 KQRS with your favorite rock and rollers back-to-back all day long. There's a great noontime Nuggets double shot from Neil Young. featuring his music back when he was with a California-based band in the early 70s called Crazy Horse. Just had to Neil Young. We did a couple from Jethro Tull for the staff listening to a 90 Tuesday edition of Noontime Nuggets over at J.C. Penney's in Ridgedale. Good to have you here in the Nuggeteria. Right now I've got a copy of the Rainmakers' great new album. It's a self-titled debut album, and it smokes. It's as good as yours. If you're caller number 3 to reach Brenda, who's manning the phone now, the studio line at 545-ROCK or 545-ROLL. Caller 3 has got it from the station that delivers the cash every day. KQ congratulating Eugene Aslaxon of Lanesboro, Minnesota. He picked up $92 in a key. Caught him for the final day of the fair wearing a KQ t-shirt. Not only does he get the $92, but he's also got that key that may open Lucky Locker number 92 at the airport. For our next ticket to rock a weekend in Florida at the Embassy Suites Hotel, we'll put you up there. Toss in tickets to see the Vikings play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and throw in $192 fun money as well. And the KQ Cruiser's out on the streets every day, still looking and listening for you. If we catch you either way, you too can win the cash and a key that may open that Lucky Locker out at the airport from the home of rock and roll. After 1 o'clock, we're going to do your suggestions for double shots by George Thorogood. Also got the Guess Who on the way, Eddie Money, ZZ Top, and Bruce Springsteen. Sounds like a great hour. Hal Hoover striking up 56 minutes of music next with a pair of Noontime Nuggets from a group that led the original British invasion. KQ just turned another loyal Nuggeteer into a winner. Congratulations to Daryl Lundgren. Daryl lives in Long Lake, and he picks up a copy of that Smoke and debut album from the Rainmakers. KQ handed out the country's hottest new releases with your chance next hour to pick up a copy of Minnesota's own Bob Dylan's latest album. It's called Knocked Out Loaded. Hal Hoover breaking loose 56 minutes of music with the Noontime Nuggets double shot for Lake Elmo. Here's the Beatles on the station that never screams during your favorite classic rock and roll, 92 KQRS.
92 KQRS. Now, more non-stop classic rock and roll.
92 KQRS on a $1,000 no-repeat Thursday, putting the needle down on Billy Idol from his album Rebel Yell. Also heard from Steelers Wheel. I'm Wally Walker, and on the way we got some Jackson Browne, also Grateful Dead, ZZ Top, and a new tune from the latest victim of the KQ Rockin' Bowlers. We're talking about the fabulous Thunderbirds coming up after this 92-second info update.
Here's an ABC News.
92 KQRS, a pride of Minnesota, along with the pride of Canada, Bryan Adams. Also heard from Tommy James and the Shondells, classic rock out of 1968 from the KQ CD collection. Sending that out to the crew working at OEM Incorporated in Plymouth. Great to have you along here on a Wednesday afternoon. Before that, it was Triumph from their album The Sport of Kings right here on KQ. I'm Wally Walker, congratulating yet another winner in the Classic Album Exchange, Tom Lund of Brooklyn Center. He writes in, Dear Wally, my music family is missing a relative from the kinky side of your family, Sleepwalker. Thanks a lot, Tom Lund. Dear Tom, you're right. Sleepwalker by the Kinks is definitely one of the kinkier members of the Walker clan, but far from the kinkiest, mind you. I don't want to go into that because it might incriminate me. Nevertheless, I'll send you a copy of Sleepwalker by the Kinks, and if that doesn't make you feel kinky enough, I'm sure that a brand new Wally World t-shirt will. Congratulations from the Classic Album Exchange. If there's a record or cassette in your library that has seen better days, let us know about it. Put it down on a postcard. Mail it in the Classic Album Exchange. KQRS Radio, 917 North Wylock Drive, Twin Cities 55422. And, of course, you'll also get a World t-shirt if we select your postcard and read it on the air. Got 4 tickets right now for something that's pretty crazy. The KQ Haunted House featuring numerous pictures of John Lastman. If you're caller number 4 right now at 545-ROCK or 545-ROLL, you can go along with 3 other friends. 4 tickets total. Congratulations to you in advance from KQ. And on the way here in just a little bit, we got some rock and roll from a native out of Freehold, New Jersey. It's 3:53 now.
92 KQRS. Proud to be a Minnesota classic.
Just a little bit after 8 o'clock. Hi, this is Jack Hicks. Time to do the KQ six-pack on KQRS FM, KQRS AM, Golden Valley, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Nobody has rocked Minnesota longer than KQ. And the six-pack tonight brought to you by Busch Beer. Head for the mountains without leaving Minnesota. Let's head into number 6. Here's Bob Seger on KQ. 92 KQRS, Jack Hicks in the six-pack. And here's tonight's surprise, the Rainmakers at number 2 with a cut from their debut album called Downstream on KQ.
92 KQRS, Minnesota's original album station. And there's a look at tonight's KQ Six-Pack, brought to you by Busch Beer. Head for the mountains without leaving Minnesota. Head for Busch Beer. And let's count them down for you. Number 6, Bob Seger, Triumph. Group that hasn't been in the Six-Pack for quite some time. Shows up at number 5 tonight. U2, usually making it a couple times a week, at number 4 this week. Led Zeppelin, first place a couple of times last week. They're at number 3 tonight. The Rainmakers, a group with their debut album out, a band fresh out of Kansas City, Missouri, ready to hit the big time. They show up at number 2 on the KQ Six-Pack tonight with that great song called Downstream. And George Thorogood, the number 1 requested artist and song of the day. There's the title track from the album, Bad to the Bone, here at 92 KQRS 831. This is Jack Hicks hanging around and congratulating Peggy Saylor of St. Paul Park, our most recent $1,000 winner during the KQ No Repeat Thursday. We're ready to do it again tomorrow. If you hear the same song by the same artist twice between 6 a.m. and midnight any Thursday, all you have to do is be the first caller on the KQ studio lines, and you'll win $1,000. It pays to write them down. 92 KQRS, fighting repetition on the radio. More of those Hank Williams Jr. concert tickets going up for grabs before 9. 545-ROCK or 545-ROLL, the telephone numbers. Let's do a tune by the Blues Busters on the home of rock and roll. 92 KQRS.